You'll never find a more positive person when it comes to Xbox than me. I think that I've really kind of turned that page with a lot of different things in terms of where Xbox is and where they're going. But if they do this, to be honest with you, they literally might as well just give up at that point, because there would be no coming back from it. It would be irreparable damage to the brand. Everybody would just hate it. They're already talking about it, and this isn't even really a new thing. This is something that cropped up, I think, last year as well. And realistically, this cropped up for Sony too, but everybody jumps back on it because now Microsoft has brought it up themselves. And I'm sitting there scratching my head like, why on earth would you guys do this to yourselves? Like, this will be worse than the 2013 situation with DRM and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's crazy to think that they would be that foolish to do this, but yet here they are talking about it. Again, if you're new to this, here's what it is. Xbox might offer quote-unquote time slices of games or games with ads. Microsoft's Sarah Bond discussed new business models the company is looking at beyond Xbox Game Pass. Think about this for a second, because she's going to talk about mobile games. A lot of you know about mobile games, right? You download these free mobile games, it interrupts you with an ad, and it happens every stage or whatever, and it's so annoying. It basically is why I completely ignore mobile gaming. You know, you can buy it and not have the ad, but how egregious would this be? Like, people would tear this apart. Sarah Bond, the corporate vice president for games at Microsoft, revealed that Xbox is looking into other gaming models, such as time slices with games or by putting ads in games. In an interview with Rolling Stone UK, Bond was asked how developers can have success on Xbox. She said, "Game Pass is an option for developers." Then explained how Game Pass is just one of many business models by saying you have pay to play, then there was free to play, and then we introduced Game Pass. Bond says Xbox is looking into other strategies too. And I quote, "We've talked about how we're experimenting with other models, like what does it mean for advertising in games, which is more prevalent on mobile. Are these models of that work well in PC and consoles? Are there other models where you might have time slices of games and stuff like that? Providing creators with options and choice enables them to experiment and do what they like, and actually create more immersive and creative experiences without having to fit into a mold." Now, it's also worth mentioning that Xbox does have another model that doesn't revolve around Game Pass, but both require you to have Xbox Gold membership, which is called Games with Gold, giving Gold members 2 games per month, which they can keep for as long as they have an active Gold membership. Now, in addition to that, there's also free play days, which allow Gold members to play selected games for a couple of days for free. But again, this is one of those things where you have a lot of people talking about it, and I'm kind of sitting here going, why on earth would you even bring up that egregious mobile way, right? Like, who in their right mind would want that, right? Like, I don't understand the thought process behind it. I'm a super positive person when it comes to Xbox, but that is literally sort of ridiculous to think that there would be any kind of thing like, okay, you want to do timed demos? That's something that, like, even Sony does, but if you're Microsoft, why on earth aren't you watching your P's and Q's with some of this stuff? Like, I don't understand how on earth you could even consider doing some kind of thing with ads in it or whatever. It honestly does not make sense. And I hope that they decide to sort of maybe do something against this, because it really, really would go bad for them. Like, you don't understand how bad this would go for them. I saw just the fervor that was going on right now. Like, listen, I saw this interview, or I read this interview with Sarah Bond. It actually isn't a super new interview. It's from, I think, weeks ago even, maybe even a month ago. And I saw that and I was like, ugh, nobody's really got a hold of this one yet. And now all of a sudden people are getting a hold of it. And of course people are flipping out saying, oh, you know, this is the end of Xbox. You know, they want to do ads in their games. It's crazy. And, you know, to be honest, I agree. Like, no matter how positive you are for Xbox, this would be like a hugely stupid and ridiculous thing to do. You have goodwill that you've garnered. Like, you've done so much. Think about it. You've done Game Pass, which is great. You've enabled crossplay across the board. I think that's great. You've done cross-buy. That's great. You've set yourself up in this great situation where you've kind of forgotten the sins of the past, and everybody is kind of like, you know, okay, well, Xbox has really kind of moved on from that kind of nonsense. And then you start talking about ads in games, and it takes you right back to that, you know, terrible situation where people are sitting there going to go, oh, well, you know, Microsoft, they They really, and it doesn't matter what Sony does. Like, Sony has a patent for this stuff too, right? Sony patented a way to put ads in game. Microsoft has done this before, and apparently maybe free-to-play games. But to me, a free-to-play game is Halo Infinite. Would you really bog down Halo Infinite with ads? Good Lord. That would be absolutely asinine and terrible. Could you imagine seeing like ads pop up before you play a Halo? I don't want that. I don't want that in a free-to-play game like Fortnite or whatever. Hell no. These games might be free-to-play, but most people are still spending money on them with cosmetics and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, absolutely not. No, no, no. You do not need to have ads in any type of games on console, and I think it would just be absolutely stupid to do that. I mean, the only reason why you would even be considering that is because you want to try to get casual gamers in on what you're doing, but casual gamers probably aren't really likely to be buying an Xbox for the most part anyway. You know, casual gamers play on phones, and I don't really see them kind of going out there and going, oh well, let's get an Xbox or whatever. It just, like, it doesn't really make sense for me personally. And again, when you see this kind of stuff pop up, people are already talking extremely bad about it. You know, it's like, oh, Microsoft is planning to, you know how many people I had message me this, and it's like, this is ugly. This could get extremely ugly if you're an Xbox fan. Like, if you're Microsoft, I don't know if you watch my videos, or maybe you're somebody that does, or whoever, you need to nip that in the bud right away, because gamers will never forgive you for doing this, right? It doesn't matter if it really affects them. And it probably won't affect the average gamer, right? If you're someone who buys a game, you probably aren't going to have an ad. Of course not. And if you're using Game Pass, you're paying for a service. Why the hell would you have ads, right? This isn't Netflix or whatever, or HBO Max. You're not going to do, ad-supported content. That doesn't make any sense. It really just doesn't. So I hope that they kind of get rid of that and decide to go in a sort of a different manner. Maybe just drop that altogether, because the internet will never forgive you. They still haven't gotten over stuff from 10 years ago with the Xbox One. I've seen that all over the place today. Apparently 10 years ago was when they introduced the Xbox One, and everybody was making fun of it. And the most hilarious part about that whole thing is that now everybody loves TV, right? Like video games and TV and movies, and, you know, the Last of Us TV show, and the Mario Brothers movie, and this, and there's a God of War movie, and this and that. You know, everybody loves all this stuff now. So to me, it's hilarious to see the way that everybody's reacting to this stuff, and, you know, everybody just wants to use that as the reason why they hate Xbox, you know. So yeah, it is kind of ridiculous to think that that's something that is going on right now. Microsoft, nip it in the bud. Don't talk about it anymore. Throw out anything you guys are planning to do with ads and your video game consoles. It's not worth it. Trust me on that one. Let me know what you guys think. I will link this. You can let me know. Sound off, rate, comment, subscribe. Please like the video. I'm Crap Gamer. This has been Crap Gamer Reviews. Rack 'em up.